Does your cake sink in the middle after you bake it? Is your cake too oily to touch? Is your cake too hard in texture? Does the cake stick into the inside of your mouth when you try to have it? If you face any or all of these problems, please watch this video till the end. I will be answering all of these questions and providing solutions for these problems in this video. Hey guys, welcome to Happy High Kitchen. So as a cake company, we've baked our fair share of cakes over the years, and I myself have baked thousands of cakes here at the kitchen. So I have a few tips that I can share with you to help you make the most perfect sponge cake every single time. I hope this video helps in solving most of your cake sponge related problems. So let's get started. So we'll begin by adding 1/4 cup of oil to our bowl. You can use sunflower oil or canola oil for this purpose. Please make sure you don't use any flavored oils like peanut oil. I baked this cake to show you what happens if you add too much oil to your recipe. So on the outside, the surface of the cake will seem very greasy. If you can see my hands, they are very greasy right now. Now let's try to remove the wrapper of the cake. So when I'm trying to remove the wrapper of the cake is coming out along with that, which means the cake is not very well bound together and it is sticking to the wrapper. Even on the inside, if you can see, the cake is not at all spongy. When I'm pressing into the cake is sinking inside. So it's not at all spongy and it cannot hold its structure with so much oil. If you can see the amount of oil in my hands. So let's talk about the sugar that you use in your cake. So the most perfect kind of sugar that you can use in your cake is castor sugar. So castor sugar is really fine and very uniform in texture. So it mixes very well in your cake batter and makes your batter very fluffy and airy. For granulated sugar is basically bigger crystals of sugar. So when you use this in your cake recipe, what happens is that it does not incorporate very well into your batter, and when you have the cake eventually, the cake turns out to be slightly harder. You can actually taste sugar particles in your cake. So to show you guys the difference between when you use your powdered sugar or a castor sugar and when you use your granulated sugar. So as you can see, the one with granulated sugar has a lot of uneven surface on the top. You can also see granules of granulated sugar at the top of the cake. So when we see the crumb texture of the perfect cake that we made by using the powdered sugar, you can see it has a very fine crumb and the texture is also very light and airy. So when I press into the cake, it springs back to its original form. Now let's see the one with granulated sugar. So this is the cake with the granulated sugar. As you can see, the cake is not holding its structure at all, and when I try to press it, the cake is just getting pressed inside. It does not bounce back, which means that the cake is not at all airy and it has not trapped any air while baking. So what you can do is you can powder your granulated sugar at home, something like this. This is what I've done, and I'll be showing you the recipe with this particular sugar to show you how it turns out. So to the vegetable oil, we'll add 1/2 cup of powdered sugar. And we're going to whisk the two together. Continue whisking it till it becomes light and creamy. So I am doing it with a hand. You can use an electric beater if you want. Most of us have a whisk at home, so I'm showing this method to you today. You will need to whisk this for about 3 to 5 minutes. So moving on to the next ingredient is 1/2 cup of room temperature curd. So when you're using curd, you do not need to use hung curd or anything like that. You can just use your plain normal curd with all the water in it. That's absolutely fine. Just make sure that your curd is at room temperature. Also, if you're not using curd and you're using milk or water in this case, then you need to add some acidic component like lemon juice or vinegar. The baking soda that we use in the batter, that reacts with anything that is acidic in the recipe. So in this case, the acid in the curd will react with your baking soda and cause your batter to be fluffy and airy. So I'm going to add this. And I'm going to whisk it in. So the next thing that goes in is vanilla extract. Whisk it all in. So now it's time to add the dry ingredients. So we'll start by adding 1 cup of maida or all-purpose flour, half a teaspoon of baking soda, half a teaspoon of baking powder, and sieve it all in. Now we're going to start mixing the batter. Okay, so you continue this process till everything comes together. As you can see, your batter is still very stiff. Now if your batter is like this, if your batter is so stiff and you put it into baking, this is how your cake will turn out. So when your cake batter is too hard and it's not of ribbon consistency, this is how your cake turns out. So as you can see on the top, the cake has risen way too much. You don't want your cake to rise so much. Also, it has developed cracks on the top of the cake. Let's see what has happened inside. So as you can see on the inside, there are way too bigger air pockets inside. So the cake is not uniformly baked and it won't hold its structure very well. So to adjust the consistency of the batter, I'm going to add milk to the recipe. Here I have 1/4 cup of milk at room temperature. You can add water also if you'd like, but milk just adds a very good flavor to your cake. So we'll continue mixing in the same way. You just want to mix the batter till everything is combined and there are no lumps left in the batter. So you want your batter to be of a nice ribbon consistency. So this is what I mean. This is a ribbon consistency. So if your batter is of this consistency, your cake will turn out to be perfect. So let's start by preparing the cake tin. So I have taken a 6-inch aluminum round tin, and I have cut a baking paper to the size of the bottom of the tin. So I'll start by greasing the tin with some butter. So I'll be greasing the bottom and the side of the tin. Make sure you grease it thoroughly. Only if you grease your tin thoroughly will your cake rise perfectly. I'm now going to place the parchment paper at the bottom of the tin, and I'm going to gently pour the batter into the tin. I'm going to now gently tap the tin to remove any big air bubbles in the batter. So I have preheated the oven at 170 degrees for about 15 minutes. So let's talk about the ovens a little bit. So every oven is different and you need to understand your oven as to what temperature it bakes and for what duration. So if you're a beginner, I recommend you buy an oven thermometer to understand the exact temperature that is there inside your oven. So now if your oven is too hot or too cool, then your cake will not bake perfectly. So now my oven is preheated. I'm going to bake this cake for about 25 to 30 minutes. So the cake is now out of the oven. We will now check if the cake is done with the help of a wooden skewer. If you insert the skewer in the center of the cake and it comes out clean, that means your cake is done. So now let's see if your oven temperature is too high or your oven is too hot for the cake when you put it in. So as you can see, the cupcake has burned at the bottom, which is obvious. If you bake at a high temperature, it's going to burn. So as you can see, the cake looked as if it has cooked perfectly on the outside, but on the inside you can see the cake is not at all cooked. It is all raw in the center. So if your oven temperature is too high, the outside of the cake will cook perfectly, but the inside will remain uncooked and soggy. So the most common problem that people tell me or ask me is that my cake rose perfectly well in the oven, but when I remove it out of the oven, it sank in the middle. Something like this. So as you can see, the cake has completely sunk in the center. So the main reason for this is that you remove the cake out too early. So the cake is not yet baked perfectly. Your oven temperature is too low, because of which it could not bake to the amount it needed in that particular time. So when you are baking your sponge cake, so do not open the door of your oven or the lid of your kadhai before 25 minutes of baking. Let the cake bake for 25 minutes. Only after that, remove the lid of the kadhai or open the oven door. If you do it before that, the temperature in the oven or in the kadhai drops suddenly and the cake will not bake further, and the baking process will stop and your cake will sink in the center. So when you open the lid at 25 minutes, you check the cake if it is cooked inside the oven or in the kadhai itself. Do not take it out and check, because when you do that, if the temperature drops suddenly and the cake will not bake further. So now, if you'll excuse me, I have a lot of nasty cakes to get rid of and also enjoy the perfect slice of my perfect vanilla sponge cake. So if you do try this recipe, let me know how it turned out for you in the comments below. So if you like this video, please share it with your friends and family, and do not forget to like the video. Also, if you have any tips to share with us, please let us know in the comments below. We would love to read them and share with everyone else. If you haven't already, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Also click on the notification bell so you get notified every time we make a video.